Hello, my name is Jess Willens, and I'll be your guide today through this video, Interactive Teaching in Action. Now, this video is a companion to the book Freedom to Learn, written by Dr. Art Willens, which book outlines the methods of interactive teaching, which were developed also by Dr. Art Willens. I work as a clinical professional counselor in Reno, Nevada, and I've spent the last 11 years working at a treatment center for traumatized children, where these principles of interactive teaching are implemented on a daily basis. I personally have used these interactive teaching principles in my own work with children, and I've taught others how to do so as well. And I can attest to the power of these teaching methods when fully and properly implemented. Now today, you will get the special opportunity to witness these interactive teaching principles in action. The teacher you will see is Carrie Williams, the co-author of this book. And the video you will see is taken from her kindergarten classroom. Now, these students are from her 2017-2018 kindergarten classroom at Elm Crest Elementary School in Reno, Nevada. And in the shooting of this video, no instructions were given to Carrie or to any of her students. No scene was ever reshot, and all the footage you see was taken from the original live action. So with that in mind, let's get right into it. Interactive teaching. This video was recorded on the morning of January 16th, 2018, which was just the second day back after an extended winter break. Now, interactive teaching is an active teaching process, and a written account can only capture part of that interactive process. So as you watch this video, I want you to remember that these methods are designed to promote students learning to manage their own behavior. So in this first segment, I want you to notice how Carrie is using social approval. Social approval is incredibly important. It helps children to make better choices, develop more self-confidence, and to establish a mindset of success. Notice that students are aware almost immediately that Carrie is there to help them to be successful.
What flight is going to be? So stand up, and walk back to breakfast, not run. Get his breakfast and go right to find his seat to eat. Braden?
Here.
Doug is here. He's walking quietly. And he's good. You guys should be able to find your names. You just might have to look at each table. I'll help you if you're still looking by the time I'm done. Oren? Good. He's going to walk quietly. Right, Oren? Let's see you walk quietly. Good job. Lila? Angel L. Angel walking quietly. This is finding a seat quietly. You're not going to eat today, Angel. See, so Gary, look. Angel decided not to eat, so he's just going to get a chair and go sit down with his friends and talk. Vivian? Nice work. And the kids at the table are still quiet. I have to find their spots. Nice job. Mason? Let's walk your feet. Gary? Good job saying here. Very good. Responsible, brand new students. Nana's in the other room. Lily, you can talk pretty much. Are you allowed to be talking like you would on the playground? No. Quiet talking, but only to the friends at your table. That way it stays quiet.
So what I want you to notice from this segment is how the students already know from the expectations that Carrie has been setting throughout the school year, how they are expected to walk orderly to breakfast. Now notice that her praises are designed to specifically describe exactly what the student is doing, and as a result, she is further clarifying the expectations for all the other students.
Good job to everybody. Sitting quietly, opening up your yogurt. Raise your hand if you need help with something.
Now, do you see how this girl is waiting extremely patiently for Carrie to get there to open her yogurt? What that shows is the level of trust and relationship that this girl has established with Carrie over the course of the school year.
Mommy with my mouse. Everyone's yogurt is popping.
Now during breakfast, notice how the students are talking quietly with their friends. And also, notice that the students show a considerable degree of composure or self-discipline for a group of kindergarten students. Now, this composure will be evident throughout the entire morning, and it's evident in all classes that use these interactive teaching methods. Now, generally, students in Carrie's classes are this orderly by about the third week of the school year. Now, I want you to notice that when the noise level gets a little high, she does not tell them to quiet down, but rather, she tells them that she is looking for quiet talking and that it is better to talk to other students at their own table.
Keziah, see how Angel L is talking to the friends at his table? If you talk to the friends at your table, then it's quieter. So make sure you're talking just to the friends at your table. Who ate? Ion ate. Braden's eating. Chanel's not here. Keziah's eating.
I'm way more bigger than you.
You can show him where the garbage can is in Mrs. Ship's room. Mason sitting facing the right way. Make sure, before you sit down, you look back. Make sure you pushed in your chair. Make sure you pushed in your chair. Make sure you pushed in your chair. Oren. There you go.
Ah, my chair.
Now, good job. Hard to see with the light bulb.
People.
What kind of people are those? Who are they?
In my
Or the Native Americans. You can call them American Indian or Native Americans. And they're sitting on horses. So they're running from them. Why do you think they're running from them?
because they're chasing them.
They're chasing them.
Food.
Gary, it looks like you're trying not to shout out. When I ask a question and I don't say, you have to raise your hand. If you have the answer, you need to just say it, okay? It's different. Sometimes I'll say, everyone quiet, and I'm going to call on you. Sometimes I say, I want you to raise your hand to answer, and then sometimes I just ask the question and anyone can answer, all right? Especially during our core knowledge.
Yeah.
Very good. Pay attention, stay quiet. While you guys are listening.
So when watching this segment, viewers will notice how the students are attending to the lesson exceptionally well for kindergarten students. Also notice that Carrie doesn't need to spend much time or effort on maintaining their attention, but their questions indicate their level of involvement.
No, I guess it's the right page. It just looks different on my computer. In the midst of charges, a group of brave Lakota Sioux warriors are on horseback. Warriors are people who are fighting the enemy and have been in many battles. So warriors are tough and brave, right? Mm-hmm. Make sure you're all sitting flat so people behind you can see.
So she took just a moment there to remind students to sit still so that everyone could see. Very little time or effort is needed to maintain the students' attention.
Each man has a spear or an arrow ready. He will shoot as soon as he gets a bow's length away, almost close enough to reach out and touch the animal. Both of the hunter's hands are busy with his weapons as he clings to the galloping horse. Galloping means the horse is running super fast. Super fast, good. By the strength of his leg muscles alone. So he's holding on to the horse with just his legs.
Now I want you to notice how the boy in the black shirt in the back row is having a little bit of trouble sitting still and keeping his hands still. Yet he is not disrupting other students. This is important to understand because all children, all human beings in fact, have a fundamental need for movement. Now, over time, students can learn to inhibit this need for movement. However, this boy has not yet fully developed that skill. As a result, telling him to sit still, which would be typical in most classrooms, would be useless.
Hands are at the spear, like this with an arrow. That would be very hard. So he's not holding on at all. It means his legs have to be very strong. Lakota Sioux hunters shot and killed only as many buffalo as they needed for food, clothing, shelter, and tools. So they used them for a lot of things. Sharing with others was very important to the Lakota Sioux. The buffalo killed during the hunt were divided among everyone in the tribe, including people too old or too sick to hunt for themselves. To have a successful buffalo hunt, both men and horses had to be trained. It took months of hard work to get a horse ready. The horse needed courage and speed to run through the rushing herd of buffalo. So does that mean every horse could do it?
No.
No, they had to be a horse that had courage and speed, right? Horses were trained to stop immediately at the nudge of their rider's knees. That means the rider would hit his knee onto the horse and they would stop. Not every horse was brave and fast to be chosen. This one is some Lakota Sioux boys playing and riding. Not every boy was brave and fast enough to be chosen to hunt. Boys began training for buffalo at an early age. They learned to ride horses very well by the time they were 5.
I'm 5.
I know, that's old.
I'm 5.
So by the time they were 5, they were riding horses and practicing to be warriors. Could every boy be a warrior?
No.
It said not every boy could be a warrior. So sometimes you did not get chosen to be a warrior. You had to practice and be really good. They held riding contests to see who could ride the fastest, jump the highest, and some other things they made from rawhide. I'm looking around to see if everyone's eyes are up here. You're doing a great job focusing. These are very difficult concepts for you guys to understand at 5 and 6. So I think it's really good that you are sitting so quietly and listening and focusing, learning these new words.
So every few minutes, Carrie is stopping to praise the students for remaining focused on the lesson. She usually tells them how important the lesson is. But this time, she told them how difficult the concepts are for kindergarten students. This is important because it makes the students feel competent and successful in their level of achievement. Now, what I want you to notice is how she's going to have Roland, the boy in the black shirt in the back, she's going to have him move up to the front. This strategy has a slight benefit on his ability to inhibit his need for movement. Notice how she also takes a moment to praise another student for their focus.
Roland, I want you to come up here so I can make sure you see what's under each of the scenes up there. What are these things that you see on this picture? Clothes. So from the soft leather, the Lakota Sioux women made moccasins. What were moccasins we learned yesterday? Mason, good job focusing, even though someone's talking to you. Nice work. What are moccasins? Shoes. Yeah, they were the shoes. Moccasins, winter robes, bedding, shirts, dresses, pouches, and dolls. What's the name of this shelter?
A teepee.
Everyone say that. Teepee. You remember it. That means you remember what you learned yesterday, and you tell me today.
And like you had a teepee.
I did.
So this segment is about 8 minutes of a 20-minute lesson. The students' behavior and involvement in the lesson was consistent throughout the entire 20-minute lesson. Teachers have multiple opportunities throughout every school day to create huge amounts of success and therefore avoid students making unnecessary mistakes. Now, I want you to watch some of these examples of how Carrie almost ensures that the students will be successful in each of these situations. In doing so, she's continually expressing her expectations and helping the students to develop better self-control.
All right. Time for reading groups. You've been sitting for a long time. Nice job. Stay sitting. We're going to go over our reading group rules and routines because we haven't done them since December, and also because Gary is here. He needs to learn our new rules. Okay, are you listening? Good. All right. So, we have read to self.
Yes.
Let's have somebody show Gary and remind us all how you do read to self. I'm not just going to call on someone. Let's have Roland. Show us how to do read to self. Good job going, Roland. Keep going. He knows how to do it. Read to self. I think he's thinking read with teacher. Read to self. Think about what that means.
Okay.
It's okay if you forgot. That's why we're going over it. Read to self. You have a book box. It has books in it. Is Roland running?
No.
Is he talking to his friends along the way?
No.
No, a friend tried to talk to him and he just kept walking right past them.
Notice how she tells him it is okay to forget, and she gets Roland to think and redirect his own behavior. She is sure to praise Roland for demonstrating for others what he would do. Now, it is important to notice that the boy she chose to demonstrate for the rest of the class the behavior that she expects is Roland. This is the same boy that was having trouble sitting still earlier. Now, remember that instead of asking him to sit still, she simply brought him to the front of the class, and then she made a mental note to herself that later on she needed to choose an opportunity where she could allow him to be successful and thereby increase his self-discipline. Now, this choice of Roland for demonstrating for the rest of the class is an ideal opportunity to build that self-discipline.
What?
He has his book box, and where are you going to go sit?
On the carpet.
He's going to find a quiet spot to sit and read. Does he have to sit on the carpet?
No.
He can sit in this chair, and he can sit over there. And then how's he going to get out his book?
Pulling it out.
He's going to read his book. Is he talking to his friends?
No.
No. He's reading to self. When he's all, looks like he only has one book, so you might need to come over to me and get some more books when you really do read to self. When he's done reading his books, does he say, I'm done, and put them away? No, he reads the whole time.
Or you could just
Say
look
that.
at pictures.
Read the whole time. Say it.
Read the whole time.
So you read and read and read, and then I say, okay, time to clean up. Roland puts his books away.
Then, what's the carpet?
Good job if you are just sitting and listening, not talking out. That way you can focus and hear and know what to do. Puts his book box back. Good job. And then he's going to come and show us what we do when we're done with the center. Come to the carpet. Don't forget, we're going to do our alphabet chant. What do we do for alphabet chant?
Stand up.
Go, hands by his side, he's standing. All right, and then today we're going to do our January journals. Or we're going to write in our January journals. I want you to write something that you learned about the Lakota Sioux. So we learned so many things about how they went to Buffalo, what they used Buffalo for. You're going to write something that you learned. Remember, writing right now, you use sight words that you know, sounds that you hear, spaces, punctuation. I want one nice sentence in your journal. Journals are over there. So I'm going to have Vivian show you when we have brand new journals. Normally our journals are in our cubby, but they're brand new. So show us what she would do. I think she'll remember. She stands up and she walks quietly. She gets a journal. Goes to her seat. Perfect. She can't write when you're sitting on the carpet. She knows she has to go to her seat. And it's okay. You can sit anywhere. We're just pretending. The first thing she's going to do on her journal, since it's brand new, and she has to make sure everyone knows it's her, is good. What is she doing? Writing her name. And she's just pretending. She knows she's going to have to do it again. Good job, Vivian. Then when she's done, where can it go now? Back in her cubby. All right, you can put it back in the pile.
I know.
She even did her pretend writing. That's good. Good. And then what would you do when you come back to the front? Stand and all of our other new set aside. And then we have a paper we're doing today. And I'll show you this paper. You're going to go to your seat for your paper. And then iPads and computers. Let's show Gary iPads and computers. Angel, you're standing right there. Look at Angel, Gary. They're over there. He decided to do the computer. So he's just going over to the computer. Well, you on iPad? They're on this side.
That side. This side.
You can get his iPad and find what kind of game?
Math games. Reading.
Reading games. It's reading time. Do I want you doing math right now?
No.
Oh, I want you to find a reading game. Remember last week before we went on break, I looked on my phone and there was pictures that someone took on the iPad. Are you supposed to be taking pictures?
No.
So don't take pictures on the iPad. You're supposed to be doing your
Because
reading
you'll
game.
get in big trouble. Or you can't play with your iPad.
I probably would say I wouldn't let you have an iPad. I'd have you do something else because the iPads are for learning. And if you're taking pictures, I'd say, you know what, I'm just going to put the iPad down. You can get a book and read it to yourself instead. So make sure you're doing a reading game. I might have to remind you to stop doing a math game. That happens. But you know not to take pictures.
Now it's important, I want you to notice that she did not let the suggestion that someone would be in big trouble stand. Instead, she simply explained that she would probably just say that that person could not use an iPad for a while. As you're probably aware, students in the typical elementary school classroom spend a great deal of time worrying about the possibility of getting into trouble. And all that time that they spend worrying about being in trouble is actually inhibiting their ability to learn.
You are now sounding out some short vowel words all by yourself. So let's sound this out. Oh, it's been a while too since we've done this. This is b, b, cab, which is kind of a strange word for you guys to have on your kindergarten paper because you might not even know what a cab is. A cab is a car that drives bag. You see a bag? And the last one. Yeah, you might know this word. That's the word we see a lot. But let's sound it out in case you didn't know it. You see the cat? Looks like my cat. And there's two sides. So you're going to turn it over and do the same thing on this side. Some of you might be able to do this really quick and you're done. If you're done, then you could practice writing your name. You could color the pictures on here while you're waiting. Some of you, this might be really, really hard. And if it's really hard, I'm going to take it and look at it. I just want to see how we are doing on these today. I'm going to take it after you're done and look at it and see if you need help with someone to finish your paper. So do your best. If you can't do it, try your best. If it's really hard for you, do the best guess that you can, and then I will help you later. All right? So everyone's going to try this. Then I'm going to look. So make sure you put your name on it. Then I'm going to look at them later and say, oh, good. She doesn't need help. She can move on to a different paper, or she might need help, so I'll have her work with Miss Farella later. All right? So don't say, I can't do this, it's too hard. I want you to try, right? Everybody knows almost all their letters, so they can sound out these words.
So she reviews with them how to do the paper. Once again, this is done to create success. Students always learn more when they are successful. Put simply, the more successful students are, the more self-confident they become. And as a result, they are in a position to become more successful in the future and exhibit less misbehavior. Teachers have to work with many students in a classroom. As a result, there will be times when she must work with one student or a group of students while other students continue on seat work assignment. To make best use of this time, Carrie needs all students to be working independently. Now, this individual one-on-one time with students is absolutely critical, not only for instruction, but also to build and enhance the relationship and trust that she has with each student. But again, recall that in order for this to happen, she has to have other students who are working independently, and she got that by praising their independent work.
What?
I don't know this word. Here.
H-E-R-E.
Here is apple, said Mommy. Please. I don't.
I'm looking up at the tables to see if everyone's working quietly.
Here. Here
You're just writing about something you learned today.
Here are apples.
Lila, good job getting back to work. Ooh. We forgot our silent E. Silent E makes A say its name, so that would be short A. Silent E makes A say its name.
I
A.
forgot this one. Take them all.
Is this the word them?
It's
good.
Take the list. Take it off the list. We need cheese.
Okay, keep going.
Jasmine. Here is.
Boys and girls, look at me. Look at Chanel and Angel and Mason and Yaretzi and Ion. Vivian, are you looking? Lily and Lila, are you looking? They're working the whole time. That's what I want to see, working the whole time. If you need to move so you're not talking, you can. Have a quiet spot to read.
Jasmine. Here is milk, said Mommy. We need milk, said Jasmine. Now let's go home. Ice cream, said Jasmine. Then
Good job getting back to work, Lily.
In the following example, we continue to see Carrie helping a small group in reading while other students are working independently. Now, with any age group of students, but especially kindergarten students, they could easily waste most or all of their time. But notice how Carrie shares her attention between groups. As a result, she's able to keep young students engaged in meaningful activities. So the way she keeps the kids in other groups on task is by stopping and pointing out the kids who are doing well and who are remaining on task. This way, all the kids who are outside of the small group that she is working with specifically know that she is still watching and paying attention to them, and they know that they are still able to get praise from her by doing what she's expecting them to do. The way the students are working independently with very little attention from Carrie is impressive. Now, over the course of the school year, she had to build these work habits. Early in the school year, the independent work periods were shorter, and she had to use more praise to keep them working. As students become better at maintaining their concentration, Carrie can spend more time with these small reading groups. As a result, this individual time with small reading groups enhances the reading development and the level of instruction that each individual student gets across the course of the school year. Now notice how the students on the floor are working and how the students at the table continue working when Carrie has to take a phone call. Now experienced teachers will notice that this is the moment where a classroom could easily devolve into chaos. When a teacher is called away and their attention is diverted elsewhere away from the students. The reason why her classroom does not devolve into chaos is precisely because of the way that Carrie has built self-discipline and the ability to work independently across the course of the school year.
we did this one. But it's fine if we do it again.
That's okay. We do it again.
I want to do it.
So what are they saying in this picture, do you think?
Let's go.
What's the teacher saying? Let's go!
Let's go.
Let's go get on the bus.
Zoo.
And the teacher's giving them some directions.
Zoo.
Yep, there's the word zoo. So there they are. They're at the zoo. The teacher's giving them directions. Look at this picture. Hello, Mrs. Williams. Hey. Okay. All right. Okay. She's no. I'll tell you about it later. I got the video people in here. All right. Bye. Okay, you guys keep looking at the pictures. I have to give a message to somebody. Test is Monday at 9. and so you won't be here. You'll be there at 9.
They're looking at the lion. Look.
That is what I like to see at the tables. Everybody's eyes on their papers. Good work.
The monkeys. We were not reading. Miss Williams.
No, I didn't want you to read. I wanted you to look at the pictures.
You should look the same.
They're the same kids. Look in all these books.
The following segment shows a lesson on new sight words. Viewers have noticed that Carrie frequently has students standing and using hand and arm movements associated with sounds or words. She includes hand and arm movements because the movement creates an additional association and thereby strengthens memory. Now, by the end of the school year, most of the hand and arm movements will be eliminated. Many teachers might fear that encouraging such movement would soon get out of hand. But once teachers master the interactive teaching skills, they know they can bring students back to controlling their own behavior within a few seconds.
On. O and on. Just with your body rolling. Good job. H-I-S, his. Oh, his. H-I-S, his. I forgot these. O-R, or. No, that's R. O-R, or. O-R, or. O-N-E, one. O-N-E, one. B-Y, bye. Good job. You guys remember. B-Y, bye. Make sure you're doing the signs too, Mason. U-P, up. U-P, up. T-H-I-S, this. T-H-I-S, this.
Now, at this point, I want to point out that the students have been engaged in different various activities of classroom work for nearly 2 hours. They're still completely engaged, perfectly on task, and doing exactly what Carrie expects them to do. This is remarkable for kindergarten students.
All right, let's tell Gary the rules for how we line up. Because we have to make sure that nobody gets hurt. We have to make sure it's quiet before we go out. We have to make sure everyone's listening before we go out. So everyone just sit and think about the rules, and then I'm just going to call on some of you. Make sure you're sitting flat. Warren, that was really good. I just noticed you were looking up here. I can tell you really want to learn these words. You're doing so much better focusing. Good job. So how do we go to get in line? What kind of feet do we have? Put your hands down. I'm just going to call on some first. Thank you for not shouting out, so I can call on you. Because how do you get to the door? Walk. Do you run?
No.
Not in the classroom.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not? All right, absolutely not. All right, and then where are your eyes when you're in
Forward.
I'm just going to ask everybody. I think you guys all. So are you looking behind at your friends?
No.
Viewers may notice that running in the classroom is described as an absolute rule. Nevertheless, viewers have seen students running during this video. Her attention to a minor issue would actually increase running in the classroom. Remember, she is not trying to control or coerce the behavior of the students. Such an effort would fail. They must learn to manage their own behavior.
Look at that, all looking forward. Lila, do you remember to look forward? Good, and Gary, our brand new student. Oh, he's going to get his jacket. His nice and flat. Forward to your side. Roland, Mason, Isaiah, and your center. Well, I decided at the beginning of the year that it was best just to keep your hands right there. So that way your hands are in control. You know they're not going to touch anything else but your side. Right? So I'm going to call you your name this time. Look at Mason sitting or looking with his eyes forward. Angels has his eyes forward the whole time. Lila, good job. All right, I'm going to call Ion, Chris, and Chanel. Perfect. Come right over. Ion's looking forward. Hands are by his sides. Kids are getting their jackets quietly. And then the rest of you, Vivian and Lily and Brayden, quietly and calmly line up. Your hands are by your side. Your eyes are forward. Remember, we walk to the red line, and then you may run. Yesterday, we had some problems when the whistle blew, people running to get in line. Are you supposed to run to get in line after recess? No, because there's so many kids coming all at once, somebody could get hurt. Walk when you hear the whistle. Right, so we walk till we get to the red line, and when the whistle blows, when the recess is over, you walk to your line. And then you still have to see everybody's eyes. Brayden, a good choice would be to go to the end of the line. That's a good choice.
Now notice how a boy tried to cut in line, and she said, Brayden, a good choice would be to go to the end of the line. Good choice. She did not order him, she simply explained a good choice. This is consistent with helping students learn to manage their own behavior. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed and were enlightened by the video you just saw. Now, during the 2017-2018 school year, all of the students you just saw made excellent academic and behavioral progress. Now, those of us who have been familiar with Carrie Williams and her teaching over the years are not surprised to see her students consistently exceed all academic and behavioral standards. The point that we want you to get from this video is that what Carrie is doing is not beyond the capability of any teacher. She makes it look easy. And in fact, teaching is much easier when these methods are used. Now, for years, schools across this nation have been struggling with behavioral issues and struggling to get students to meet academic grade level criteria. What we want you to understand is that these teaching methods, interactive teaching, will allow all students to thrive both behaviorally and academically. All students, as young as 4 and 5 years of age, are capable of reaching their developmental potential and beyond when these teaching methods are consistently used. As adults and educators, we owe it to each and every student that we come across to make sure that they have the exact same privilege and opportunity as each of the students you saw in this video today.